Hello there everyone, it's Aidan here from Push Square with Liam Croft's preview of Resident Evil 9. That's right, we played around 3 hours of the game on the PS5, so let's see if this one's shaping up to be another Resi classic. So believe it or not, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a decade old this time next year. An installment that changed the game for Capcom's survival horror series. It made first person the standard for mainline titles and brought proper terror back after the failings of Resident Evil 6. It is fascinating then that Resident Evil Requiem is best described as a blend of the two extremes. Returning favourite Leon and newcomer Grace lead a campaign split in half, with the former bringing the action and the latter all about classic inventory management and tense combat. It's a culmination of Capcom's work in the genre over the past 10 years, as the gameplay strokes of RE Village and RE4 meet under one roof. Resident Evil Requiem therefore presents itself as the definitive franchise experience and the ultimate PS5 horror game overall. The 3 hours of play on PS5 Pro in an early section of the title has us convinced that that is true. Our PlayStation marked the first time Leon has been playable during the build-up of the game's release, as he opens the preview having just arrived at the Rhodes Hill Care Centre. It very quickly becomes clear that there are zombies on the loose inside, allowing us the first taste of action gameplay in RE Requiem and some of its new features. This is the combat of Resident Evil 6 dialed up, with judo throws, flashy takedown moves, and a hard nut Leon. At this point, the game defaults to the third person perspective, letting you get a better view of your surroundings as zombies pour into tight meeting rooms and reception areas. Leon is all about blasting the undead with bullets and then getting up close to finish them off with an elaborate melee move. He'll throw them over his shoulder, pose for a headshot, and execute zombies in quick time events. The sequence also allowed us to steal the weapons certain enemies brought to the fight, a new feature in Resident Evil Requiem, with a doctor wielding a chainsaw. Once you've killed the zombie, the chainsaw will violently fling itself about on the ground, continuing to deal damage to anyone, including yourself, that comes into contact with it. Once the chainsaw settles down, you can take it for yourself and cut down the undead. An extra layer to this though is if you don't get the weapon in time, another enemy can take it for themselves. It feels like Capcom is purposefully flamboyant with Leon's section, as it even takes the time to introduce the scene with big bold lettering over the entire screen like it's a Remedy game. Everything about playing as the fan favourite is so over the top, and it taps into the kind of action that made Resident Evil 4 an all-time great. Leon soon meets Grace inside Rhodes Hill, at which point the perspective changes to the newcomer from a first-person camera angle. Most of our hands-on session was spent playing as Grace, who has the overall objective of escaping the facility by finding 3 hidden quartz. With no ammo whatsoever and a much tighter perspective, it initially feels like you are playing an entirely different game as you take control of Grace. All she can do is run away and try to survive until you reach the main hall, where you'll start to stock up on bullets and green herbs. Grace and how she plays have been the focus for most of Requiem's marketing cycle up to this point, so you'll already be familiar with how it subscribes to the tense survival horror framing of the past 2 mainline entries, conserving ammo, health, and carefully freeing up inventory slots for new items as you explore. It's while as playing as Grace that you'll encounter the classic puzzles of the series. Jewels are used to open locked doors, photos must be references for symbols, and antique coins can be traded for upgrades. It's classic Resident Evil. What this latest slice of gameplay reveals is a handful of new features and mechanics to contend with. As you explore the building, you can extract blood from zombies, which forms a type of currency that you use to craft items. In addition, there are test tubes and formulas hidden in the environment that you can collect and analyze to get more crafting recipes. The zombies themselves have then been given a facelift, as some will replicate the action of the jobs and habits that they had before dying. We encountered a zombie chef continuing to cut meat in a kitchen, a zombie cleaner in the bathroom, and a zombie singer in a bar area whose scream will temporarily stun you. One other new mechanic we spotted right at the very end of our preview brings back the idea behind Crimson Heads. If enough time has passed, zombies can come back to life in a more powerful form, sporting significantly more health, speed, and extra damage. They have a fleshy growth sticking out of their head to mark the enhanced version and add an extra tension to backtracking through areas you've already explored. There's always potential for the zombies to come back to life. Now, all of these little upgrades and gameplay enhancements work to upgrade the survival horror formula that the new mainline titles have subscribed to for a few entries now, allowing Requiem to still feel fresh when playing as Grace. When split up between Leon's action-focused sections, the overall experience should have a nice pace to it, as you spend a few hours blasting zombies and then switch to puzzle solving and survival. It's this that could make Requiem one of the definitive PS5 horror games. It's got the action, it's got the survival horror, it's a 2-in-1 pack of the best horror gameplay around. With all of the Resident Evil charm, lore, characters, environments, and design on top, Requiem is shaping up to be another landmark moment for the series. If it gets everything else right beyond what we've played, then Requiem will belong right alongside what is considered the franchise's greatest installments. This could be another Resident Evil 2 or 4 moment. So, Resident Evil Requiem releases on PS5 on the 27th of February. Are you keen to pick it up at this point, or do you want to see a little bit more? Let us know down in the comments below, and thank you for sticking around for Liam's preview of the game. Anyway, that's it from me today, so until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.